Hey everyone, today we're going to be talking about a common fault code that can pop up on your car's diagnostic system, P0001. This code indicates an open circuit in the fuel volume regulator control circuit. Now, I know what you're thinking, what the heck is a fuel volume regulator? Don't worry, I'm going to break it down for you in this video. We'll talk about what the fuel volume regulator does, what causes this fault code, and how to fix it. So, if you're seeing the P0001 code on your car's dashboard, be sure to check out this video. I'll show you how to diagnose the problem and get your car back on the road in no time. The P0001 fault code indicates an open circuit in the fuel volume regulator control (FVRC) circuit. This means that there is a break in the electrical circuit that controls the fuel volume regulator, which is responsible for regulating the amount of fuel delivered to the engine. The fuel volume regulator control valve, FVCV, is a solenoid valve that is located on the fuel rail. It is controlled by the engine control unit, ECU, and is responsible for adjusting the fuel pressure based on engine load and speed. When the ECU detects a problem with the FVRC circuit, it will set the P0001 fault code. There are several possible causes of the P0001 fault code, including open circuit in the FVRC wiring. This could be caused by a damaged wire, a loose connection, or a faulty connector. Faulty FVRC solenoid valve. The solenoid valve itself could be faulty and need to be replaced. Problem with the ECU. In rare cases, the problem could be with the ECU itself. If you are experiencing the P0001 fault code, it is important to have it diagnosed and repaired by a qualified mechanic as soon as possible. This will help to prevent further damage to your vehicle and ensure that it is running safely and efficiently. The P0001 code is a generic OBD2 trouble code that indicates a problem with the fuel volume regulator control circuit. This code can be caused by a variety of factors, including a faulty fuel volume regulator, a wiring problem, or a problem with the engine control module, ECM. The most common symptoms of the P0001 code include check engine light illumination, reduced engine power, rough idle, stalling, increased fuel consumption. If you are experiencing any of these symptoms, it is important to have your vehicle diagnosed by a qualified mechanic as soon as possible. To diagnose the P0001 code, a mechanic will typically use a scan tool to retrieve the trouble codes from the ECM. They will then use a multimeter to check the resistance of the fuel volume regulator and the wiring harness. If the resistance is outside of the specified range, the fuel volume regulator or the wiring harness will need to be replaced. In some cases, the ECM may need to be reprogrammed to fix the P0001 code. The repair for the P0001 code will vary depending on the underlying cause of the problem. If the fuel volume regulator is faulty, it will need to be replaced. If the wiring harness is damaged, it will need to be repaired or replaced. If the ECM needs to be reprogrammed, a mechanic will need to use a scan tool to do so. The cost of repairing the P0001 code will vary depending on the specific problem and the labor costs in your area. However, you can expect to pay between $100 and $500 to repair this code. The P0001 code is a serious problem that can cause a variety of symptoms. If you are experiencing any of the symptoms listed above, it is important to have your vehicle diagnosed by a qualified mechanic as soon as possible. The cost of repairing this code will vary depending on the specific problem and the labor costs in your area, but you can expect to pay between $100 and $500.